raise your right hand. Do each of you swear that you will fairly try this case before this court and that you will return a true verdict according to the evidence and the instructions of the court, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
You may be seated.
Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution may begin with opening remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury and the audience. We would like to thank you for being here today for the case versus the state against Oscar Pistorius. My name is Jacey, and I am part of this prosecution team. Today you will hear evidence from both the prosecution and the defense. The defense team will try to explain factless information about the night Oscar Pistorius killed Reva Steenkamp. My team and myself will prove to you through thorough evidence that Oscar Pistorius killed her through premeditation, anger, and murder. Reva's family and friends deserve justice for their lost loved one. Reva Steenkamp was someone who loved Oscar and deserved the same love in return. But instead, Oscar brutally murdered her. Please gather enough information through our trial to understand the justice that is due for this case. Thank you.
Does the defense have any opening remarks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I move this thing?
That's how it's going to work. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and thank you for being here today. My name is Corinne Morrow, and I'll be the leading defense in this case. You are present here today to overhear the evidence in the trial of Oscar Pistorius, who is implicated of murder. You're going to hear two different sides of the story. Only one is right. You're going to hear the prosecution side of the story, and you're going to be told many things. You're going to be told that this case is an intentional murder, and Mr. Pistorius will be made out to look like a cold-hearted killer, in which he is not. Mr. Pistorius was happy with Miss Steenkamp and loved her very much. Mr. Pistorius would never intentionally murder his lover. As convincing as their story may seem, do not get caught up. This is what the prosecutioners want you to believe. That Oscar Pistorius is a born killer. Mr. Pistorius may have shot and killed his girlfriend, but our evidence proves it to be unintentional. Fear had overcome Mr. Pistorius, causing him to make an irrational decision to pull the trigger. According to Journal of Psychology Today, fear is a vital response to physical and emotional danger, in which if we didn't feel it, we couldn't protect ourselves from legitimate threats, traumas, or bad experiences, which can trigger a fear response within us that is hard to quell. I'm here to prove that Mr. Pistorius committed this accident out of fear. Our witness will testify this statement that he indeed did shoot his girlfriend, Miss Steenkamp, on accident out of fear. Thank you.
Prosecution may call its first witness.
The prosecution would like to call Michael Berger to the stand.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your first and last name.
Michelle Berger,
Where do you live?
next to Mr. Pistorius and Silver String Estates.
What is your relation to Mr. Pistorius?
We're neighbors.
And what is your profession?
I give lectures at the university. I work in the Department of Economics.
What does your job consist of?
I lecture college kids.
What were you doing on February 13th?
I was laying down in bed with my spouse.
Who is your spouse?
I don't know. Mr. Berger.
Could you sleep the night of February 13th?
I did at first, and we went to bed at the usual time, and then I woke up to a woman's screams.
What did you hear that night into the evening and into the night?
I heard her. I heard arguing hours before, and I heard her yell for help.
Have you heard the couple fight before?
Yes.
Did you hear anything early that morning?
Arguing.
And what order were those sounds in, that the yelling and the loud sounds?
It started off as arguing, and then it kind of quieted down, and then I heard shots and screams.
Before the incident, have you ever met Mr. Pistorius?
Briefly.
Did you ever see Mr. Pistorius and Miss Rivas in camp together?
Yes.
Did they look happy?
I suppose so.
And when was the last time you saw them together?
I don't recollect.
No further questions.
Does the defense have anything for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are the neighbor of Mr. Pistorius in the Sting camp, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So have you ever met the two of them face to face, had a conversation with either of them?
Briefly.
Okay. Have you ever seen or heard an argument between them?
Yes.
What does their relationship seem like to you?
Like a typical young couple arguing briefly.
How far away is your house from Oscar? Like how many houses down are you?
I'd say about 200 feet. Next
So
houses.
you're quite a ways down. Can you recount to me what you heard?
I heard arguing earlier that day, and then later that night I woke up to a woman's screams and gunshots.
Okay. Your Honor, I have evidence for the witness. Can you please read the highlighted text to the jury?
There was evidence that there was serious brain damage, and our evidence will be that that a person with that kind of brain damage would have no response, no cognitive function.
Okay. So you said you heard the gunshots before or after the scream?
I say before.
Okay. So, have you ever heard negative media coverage about Mr. Pistorius?
Yes.
Okay. So you were able, 200 feet away, to hear emotion in Miss Steenkamp's, so you say, voice, and to hear that she was threatened when she was locked in the bathroom.
I couldn't make out what she was saying, but voices were loud.
No further questions?
Does the defense have anything else for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Any final from the prosecution, or do you rest? Is the defense ready for this case?
Yes, Your Honor. We call Mr. Oscar Pistorius to the stand.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Oscar Pistorius.
Mr. Pistorius, can you tell me a bit about yourself?
My name is Oscar Leonard Carl Pistorius. I'm 27 years old, but although my legs are amputated below the knee at 11 months old, I run for able-bodied athletes.
Okay, so you run for a living, Mr. Pistorius.
I'm a sprint runner and I'm an Olympian.
Okay. Have you had any history with guns in any incidents in the past?
Yes, my friends have had incidences in public places, but I've never been in any involvement with them.
Your Honor, can I approach the witness? What was your purpose of buying the gun, Oscar?
For protection, there have been several break-ins in my area. I've got death threats, so I'm there for protection.
So you say you go to the shooting range. Do you ever go there?
I go from time to time.
Okay, so what was your relationship with Reba?
We were happy together. I couldn't see myself being with anyone else. She made me happy, and I would never hurt her intentionally. I loved her. We traveled together, we lived together, and I loved showing her off. She was my angel.
So how would you describe your relationship with her?
We were in a loving relationship. I loved being around her.
So Oscar, can you tell me what happened the morning of February 14th, 2013?
I woke up and I remember it was hot. I remember Reva telling me early that morning that she was hot, so I got up to get a fan off the balcony. When I came back in, I closed the sliding door and closed the curtains. Then I heard something from the bathroom. As on my way to the bathroom, I noticed the door was open, and I instantly thought it was an intruder because there are no bars on the windows and the construction workers have left ladders outside. So I yelled for the intruder to get out, and I yelled at Reva to call the police. And I come into the bathroom, and the lights were off, and I heard another noise, and before I knew it, I shot 4 times through the bathroom door. So I go back to the bedroom, and I see Reva isn't in bed. I check the bed around the bed, and in the curtains to see if she hid from the gunshots. I put my prosthetic legs on, and I go to the balcony, and I call for help. I go back to the bathroom, and I try to kick down the door, but I couldn't, so I get my cricket bat and beat down the door. I notice Reva is lying there, so I carry her downstairs and try to revive her, but she dies in my arms.
So, Oscar, can you tell me what you were feeling when you thought someone broke into your house?
I was scared. I was scared for my life and Reva.
So, have you ever looked up the definition of fear?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
It means an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is going to cause harm. Did you feel that there was a possibility of you being in pain or threatened in any way?
Yes, ma'am, I was scared for my life.
So, Oscar, why didn't you run away or go get help?
I was in my house. I shouldn't have to run away. I'm a grown man and I want to defend myself.
Okay, so you said you called out to the intruder. Did the intruder ever answer you or say anything back to you?
No, nobody answered. I didn't hear anything.
Okay, so did you and Reva have a fight that morning?
No, ma'am, it was early in the morning. The only reason why I woke up was because it was hot that day.
Okay, so going back to the gun, had you ever used it before that day?
At the shooting range, but never at home.
One last question. How do you feel without your prosthetic legs, Oscar?
I don't like showing weakness, but internally I feel vulnerable.
Does the prosecution have anything for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pistorius, before this incident occurred, you and Reva were arguing, correct?
No, ma'am.
Then how do you explain the arguing that your neighbors heard?
I don't know.
And by your ex's opinion, you've been known to snap in heated situations. Do you think this tragedy was a result of your anger?
No, ma'am.
On another note, I would like to know, did you have your prosthetic legs on when you went to get the fans off the porch and shut the blinds?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Because I just woke up to get the fan real quick. And
Your Honor, I would like to insert evidence. In this picture, the fan is very tall. It's not a little fan. It is taller than the bed. How could you have picked that up without your legs on?
I don't know.
When exactly did you put your prosthetic legs on, Mr. Pistorius?
After I had shot it to the door, when I came back to the bedroom.
Your Honor, I would like to insert another piece of evidence. May I approach the witness? In this picture, it shows blood on your prosthetic legs. When exactly do you think you could have gotten the blood on your legs?
When I was carrying her downstairs.
To me, it looks like it was splattered and then went down your legs. I don't think that would have been from her. It would have been from something else. How do you explain that, Mr. Pistorius? In previous testimonies, you've said that you didn't know Reva was in the bed because the room was dark. So how then did you know where to plug the fans in and where to point the fans that you were bringing in?
It was dark in the bathroom, not in the bedroom.
then how did you not see her in the bedroom?
I just woke up to get a fan, then I heard a noise. I didn't pay any attention.
No further questions.
Anything further from the defense, or do you rest? Are both sides ready with final arguments?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we have either convinced you that that man right there shot his girlfriend in cold blood and made it look like it was self-defense by using a 9mm. He broke through the wooden door and there was no evidence that he tried to help her. He had multiple stories on how this day had occurred. He thinks he can get away with it, but today we are stopping him. And the defense is wrong with all their evidence. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have came here today to prove to you that that man right there is innocent. He did shoot his girlfriend through the bathroom door, but he did it out of fear, thinking there was an intruder in his house to hurt them. And without his prosthetic legs, he felt vulnerable. And feeling that he had to protect himself and his girlfriend, he got his gun. See, something that the defense pointed out is the bloody legs, but those could also be because he carried her down and tried to help her. And he would not have helped her if he did not feel that she needed it and he cared about her. He would have left her in the bathroom. He did all of this out of fear, and the prosecution is trying to send an innocent man to prison.
Any final words from the prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, imagine if you're the parents, brother, or sister of Reva. Would you want this man to go to prison? Or would you want this man to walk free? And before he called 911, he called the security, and then he looked something on the internet up, and then he called 911.
Let me remind the jury that it is your responsibility to base your decisions solely on the facts and what you've heard here today. You may now enter into deliberation. We will take a 5-minute recess while the jury reaches its decision.
Hey, he wants to say that he's also
All right!
You say we have reached a verdict. Not guilty.
You may be seated.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor. We believe that the defendant is not guilty. He did not kill this person in cold-blooded murder.
The jury has found the defendant not guilty. Thank you for your time today. Case dismissed. The jury may be